everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel. This is your first time seeing my face. My name's Aisha and this is Tea Time with Aisha. On today's episode, I say this every episode, there's not going to be an episode where I'm not bringing you guys something, you know? Every episode you're going to be walking away with some sort of insight, new knowledge, and that's what today's episode is all about. Okay, we have somebody whose brains, fineness, jazz, finesse, sauce, all that, the done. I've known this guy for like over 10 years at this point, one of my best friends, and I'm just so happy to have him on my show today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and introduce Olaseni
Adeniji. You know what's crazy?
What?
When you introduced me, one thing that I thought about is there's people that meet me,
Yeah.
and then they talk about me and don't even know they're talking about me, because I mean, I grew up with everybody calling me Sheni.
Mm-hmm.
But when I started working, I didn't want people to call me Sheni. I wanted to call me Olaseni. So people are, Olaseni this, and people are Sheni. And then like 2 years ago, people started calling me Fawaz.
Before we get too much in today's episode, because you guys, like I said, this is my guy. So like realistically, this is one of those episodes where it's truly conversational, right? Like this is my guy. So before it is like we just vibes off vibes.
It's all vibes.
On vibes. Before we get too crazy into it, we gotta pour our tea. Okay, so before we dive into today's episode, go ahead, grab your cup, grab your little snacky snack. I'm gonna pour us up.
What tea is this?
I don't want to say it because I'm shy. I'm embarrassed. I'm basic, but I feel like because this is such a
What tea is this? Because it's such a what?
Because you know this is like a classic something.
We've known each other.
No, but so you two have to have classic.
I don't deserve a special tea. Pour it. Let's taste.
No, this is okay. So it's still boba tea, right? But
Boba tea?
yeah.
I've never had boba tea before.
Really? Get out.
I'm a very basic guy. It's ginger.
Oh, you know what? I didn't thought I got this shit ginger from. Because you know ginger is what we always do on this show. Really.
It's just a man.
Always ginger, but I think you
Do we rate the tea on the show?
Well, you can rate it. I think
say-
Manny was the only one to actually rate it. Now I think about it, I feel like everybody else was just like it's good.
I'll say the truth. If it's not good,
Okay, all right, fine. Let's go. Be nice.
I mean,
Okay,
the
cheers.
truth is nice.
I feel like it's nice. I have good taste. Cool bad. Oh.
You might be onto something here.
Okay. Give me my flowers. Let me taste my own. Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Like honestly. Honestly.
Might need the recipe for that one. That's kind of gas.
Come on now. Your girl knew this. She's always been
Scale
about
of 10.
this.
That's like a proper 9. And I'm not even lying. That's a proper 9.
Honestly. Okay. So I guess my question now is, what was your first impression when I came back?
Of you?
Because I feel like when I came back, it was low-key chaotic. It was like a thing.
What was my first impression? Okay, let me try to remember. First of all, one thing I can never forget here.
You're gonna cast me.
When you came back, when your shoes got untied, you'd be asking guys to tie your shoes for you. And you know how Yoruba men and Nigerian men are. They're just like, well, what do you mean I should tie your shoes for you? Like, she was like, can you tie my shoes? And it was so normal for you. And I was like, I have to jazz up because you can't be...
But they were still tight last.
Yeah, well, like, I mean, guys were just like, I mean, it was odd, dude, because, like, you can't be asking, you ask someone with time. So it was like, should I do this? Because
Like, who's this big?
or does this even make sense? I mean, yeah, sometimes you probably did it, but after a while, I was just like, yeah.
I think eventually I caught on.
So, yeah, but I mean, I came back. I think it was cool, but it's like, yeah, it was. I mean, life be chaotic. Like, my God, someone just came back.
Last, you graduated, you finished, you prefect, you were the guy.
Fake social prefect boy.
Hey, badge of honor.
We did that thing.
I don't want to get too much into boarding school or stay too much on that because if we talk about it, we're going to talk about it for a minute. I want to kind of move on to your transition to the States, right? What led you to even want to leave Nigeria and then come to the States? And what was like the circumstances like around, you know, that transition for you at the time?
I mean, kind of, I was always going to leave Nigeria. I was talking about this yesterday. My mom had this whole thing where all my brothers was like, she had this impression about America, just anywhere outside of Nigeria. They're like, it was just, you just be doing gang. So she was like, she wanted all her kids to just, I guess, get trained properly or whatever it was. So you're not going outside of the country until to get your masters. So like bachelors, everybody must do in Nigeria. And like my older brothers did their bachelors, but me, from the get go, I was like, can't lie, I'm not gonna be here.
That's not the vibe.
So because even jam, because you have to write jam to go into school. I didn't write jam. Or I ended up writing it eventually. But like I wasn't serious about it. I never studied. Like I never did all that because I always thought for sure I was going to. My plan was Canada actually.
I think I remember you telling me.
Yeah. So after I finished for home science, I did A levels in this school where they just finessed us and scammed us. We went there and just paid money. They were supposed to process our admissions for us, but he didn't. So all the Canadian schools that I wanted to go to, everything kind of closed. Or like the application window. So if I wanted to still go there, I'd have had to wait like
another year. Yeah.
And like in retrospect now, it doesn't actually make a difference like if you graduate when you're 23, 24, 25, all that type of stuff. But like in Nigeria, like I feel like the mindset was just first we used to finish school so early.
Yeah.
Like, there's people finishing high school at 14, 15.
Yeah.
And like, you know, there's a lot of people that have their masters at 21 already.
Yeah.
So like finishing school, I was just like I was in a rush, man. I was like, yeah, I need to just based on like the
there's definitely that fire that's put under your butt when you live in Nigeria to be like like we have a first, second, third reward system. You already conditioned to think you're in a rat race.
And
right?
when we're in SS3, they supposed to result on the achievers board, and any and everybody could see your result. So like just being like that, it was just like I always had this, and that kind of made you just have this mindset of like, oh, I have to finish school when I'm 21. When I'm 22, like I should be done. My master's before I'm 22, that kind of stuff. So I couldn't wait. I was like, you know what, I had to go to school, like regardless. So I was like, maybe I'll just do the UK because I was very anti-America, mostly because of like immigration, because like you come as international students and then F1.
It's a long process.
The process is just mad long, so I didn't want to do it. I feel like the UK is any better anyways, but at least like I mean now it's kind of
people have been living there their whole life.
Still nothing. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll do the UK. Anyways, I was trying to do that. My brother was just like, "Hi, I'm here. Like, who would you want to be with?" And my older brother's here. I was like, "Who would you be with?" There, blah blah blah. I was like 2 weeks away from going to apply for a UK visa.
Wow.
When he said, "You know what? Scratch it, do America," and all of a sudden, I was coming here in October.
I literally remember you like.
I came here, found my admission, submitted all my papers in person, all that kind of stuff, and then I went back home like in December. I was there for like 1 week, got my visa, came back, and then boom.
And that was just that.
I was. I was here for school then.
And the rest is history. You're here now.
We're here now. Who is that?
I don't think I want to say where he works, but that is a big man thing. Like it's a big man thing. Like there's levels. Don't
let her be whining you.
It's true. You people is trying to form humble.
Don't let her be whining.
Trying to form humble for you people.
Let's cook.
So okay. Now, you've gone through that whole process. It wasn't like a straight path, but it was like, okay, you were very much so determined, driven, and you had some sort of a plan, if not a plan, an end goal, that you were going to be in school, right? So, what did you study in school?
Computer science.
Okay.
Which, life is so funny, because computer science is like one of the biggest things you can study now.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
But like, I remember when I started college, not like I'm that old shot, but when I started, it wasn't like the coolest thing to study because I'll never forget. I remember when I spoke to like home science teachers, which is like where I went to high school, like secondary school. And when I told some people that I was studying computer science, I got the vibe of some teachers where they're just like computer science. It's almost like you're so good at physics and math. We thought you'd be doing like robotics engineering.
Why would I be doing that?
Or like human computer interaction, something with a double major. Like computer science just wasn't that thing. Like it was always electrical and computer engineering, mechanical. It's like. I mean, I guess it's
I get what you're saying.
Engineering stuff.
Like even my cousin, like he did engineering, and that's definitely because of that stigma that you have in Nigeria. Like this is the only path that you should take.
I came here to do electrical engineering actually. My uncle was just like, jazz up. I was like, it was just telling me like, because also back then because of that, like CS wasn't like the biggest thing in Nigeria. Like fucking home science, what were we doing? ICT lab and stuff like that.
I'm talking about ICT lab. Don't be trying to come for it now.
ICT lab, like what was that computer exam, Excel stuff, and Microsoft Word, and please. So we didn't really do like a lot of CS stuff. So it was like when I came in, my uncle was just like, jazz up, and like he just kind of painted a picture or like what CS world looks like here and like what the opportunities look like and stuff, and I was just like,
okay, let's go for it.
I guess we'll do it. And then we just did it.
And so now I know, right? We keep coming back to it. Now we're here. Like
now we're here.
It kind of worked out. I feel like for you, in as much as things weren't like, okay, like, oh, you wanted to go to Canada first, that didn't work out, now you're here, right? Like, at last everything worked out. You're very much like a lucky person, I would say. No, I would actually say that. Like, you don't think so? Okay, then that's perception then.
Lucky, I guess at the end of the day, everybody's lucky to some extent, but
and some people are more lucky than others. I always tell Aisha,
but
she's a very lucky person as well. Like, things just come easy to her. It's as though she has a magnet pool of positivity and good things that just come her way.
See, this one is an existential crisis or question. But, I mean, I think there's some sense of, like, yeah, luck. But, like, well, like, you have to grind for the luck to click.
Fair.
Because it's like, for example, say somebody's goal in life was to work at Apple. And you automatically just one day you're at the gym. And then you're at the gym. And the next thing you're at the gym with the CEO of Apple. Maybe luck put you there.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, yeah, I like how you're speaking. You know what? We need to try and get you in here. Luck still put you in there as well. And then it's like, you know what? We set up a 45 minutes interview with 2 people for you to speak to. You know, kind of stuff. Now, luck can help you get through as well. But that 45 minutes, you have to put in work.
You got to put in work. Do some research. You
have to do some research. You have to say the right things. You have to try to click with the people. You have to, like, either it's like just mad research or like finesse that you have to do for yourself. You have to do something. So it's like, yeah, luck kind of like does stuff, but in some ways, man, you have to put yourself in position to be lucky, and like you have to.
That's a quote right there. You have to put yourself in a position to be lucky.
I mean, you have to do some things that would just. So it's just like if opportunity drops on your lap or door mistakenly opens, it's just like I'm in there.
And you got to go in there. And I think if you stay ready, you never have to get ready, right? So you consistently put yourself in a position that whenever something like that could possibly happen, you're ready to go.
Yeah. So
because you don't know when the opportunity will come, but like you need to be able to snatch it up when it does come.
Exactly. Sometimes you're just mad lucky and like you don't even deserve it, but hopefully you've done hard work up to the point to get there, so you won't still get lucky. So it's like it's half and half. Like
half and half.
Luck can get you.
I think I do actually agree with that. So I remember because I feel like this kind of ties in a lot to like what you do now, even before you started Thoughts and Transitions, right? Like all your friends when they wanted to work on resumes or just career path help, would always go to you. Why do you think that is? Because I know myself, we went to that Thai restaurant and sat down for like, I don't even know how many hours to work on my resume.
Yeah, that's true.
And that was just like such a nice thing to do, obviously. Like you offered, you're like, yeah, let's go do this. Like, I'll help you on your resume. But like, I know it's not just for me. You've done that for other people, our other friends. And I feel like that kind of ties into like what you do now. But I want to kind of start off with how did that even become a thing for you? Why did you decide that that's something that you wanted to do? Why do you feel like people came to you whenever they wanted to like work on their careers? At this time, you weren't even working yet.
Yeah, facts. I mean, kind of like me. I don't even know if it's natural or if it's circumstances or whatever.
I feel like it's natural.
And I think about it this way. I mean, I think from time though, like even being in home science, I've always like the grind has just always been there. Like sometimes it's just like, why are you doing that? I can't do it.
Yeah.
So because like I wasn't the smartest person in home science. There was the Chine and the Musamudiame and then the Smart at some point.
Yeah.
But in my head it's always like, why is he getting 60-60 and I can't get 60/60? So it's like I'm still appalled to try to get that. So like that's it. And then so coming to America.
Yeah.
As you know, I came as an international student.
Yeah.
One, if you don't find a company that can sponsor you, you're going back home. My plan was never to go back home.
Right.
When I came here, I was like, I'm gonna be here.
Stay here. Yeah.
So
and that's that.
Like I will be here. But like to be here, to find a company that sponsor you, it has to be like an Apple or a Google and stuff like that. And bro, the school I went to, I didn't know about the school I went to until like a week before I applied to it. Because my plan was just I have to get into school in January like that year, and that was like one of the few schools that still had applications open. So I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'll go there. And then I didn't know the difference that like, oh, if you go to a top school, companies come to you versus you have to go to the company. So all that kind of stuff. And it was just a thing where I ended up being in like a school where the companies that I needed to work for that would quote unquote sponsor me and make me stay in America didn't used to come to my school, didn't even know my school. I didn't know people at my school that just like worked there and all that kind of stuff. And I was just like, how are we going to make this happen? So it was just mad grind and hustle. Like I would get on LinkedIn and reach out to people, chat to people. I'd go to conferences, I would do events, and just from like insane grind. Like there was a whole semester where like almost every weekend I was in a different state, talking to a different company. I didn't pay nothing. They were all paying for it. Like it was just a thing of I just had to hustle to figure out the system because I was like I needed to be here. So like I think from all of that, I had to do multiple resume iteration. Like information sticks with me a lot. Like reading, like yeah, but like if I talk to someone and they like tell me something, it's like, oh shoot, I remember that you said that, it really resonated with me. So like just all the career insight that people used to give me, all the resume workshops I went to, it just like stuck with me. And like I used to use it, and then before you know it, it's just like one person is asking me like, "Oh, guy, how'd you get this internship? Oh, guy, how'd you go to this conference? Oh, guy, how's your resume like this?" And it's like, "Oh, okay, cool. I do it for this person, and that person is doing it for that."
And then they tell
like,
another person,
you know, and then like that, and I'm writing an article about it, and like people are reaching out to me, and then I'm doing coffee chats, and then someone is inviting me to come and speak to a school, and then I'm talking to the school, and people from that school are reaching out to me, and then from there it's just boom, 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 it's just like cascading effect, and it just kind of goes from there.
Honestly, I'm looking at you in such admiration because it's like when you see people that really are about their things, like they're about it, and they're just, it's not even to be inspiring anybody, it's literally just like that grinder mindset, like you gotta go, like there's no other option but to succeed.
Yes, but is there choice? and there's no choice now. Like it's kind of like I said, I came here and I knew like this is the only way I can stay here.
Yeah.
The only other option is you go back. And I was like, I'm not
doing that. Yeah.
So whatever we have to do,
we gotta just do it.
Like I only got 1B in college. That class, and it's my favorite class. That's the crazy thing. My favorite class was statistics. I love that class so much. The only reason why is I was probably in only 3 stats class that semester. Because like I think the class was always on like Tuesdays and Thursdays or something like that. And I was always traveling to another state for like, you know, my conference or to try to interview with a company and all that. So I was barely in there. So I actually go and be that class. I was mad frustrated, but you know what? Nobody cares about that anyways. So
and
it's like right now nobody cares about that.
You work where you work now, and like maybe you're a PM.
Yeah, so just product manager.
There are those levels to this.
Stop now. Stop now. There's like a million PMs in this world. Relax now.
Like, no, Shini, think about it. Like coming out of college, coming from Nige, going to a college that you literally applied to, that you found out a week before you applied to it, deciding, okay, in order for me to stay, I need to work at this company or work at one of these companies, going ahead and going every other weekend or every weekend to different states to go to conferences and network. Like, I mean, that is grinding.
I mean,
that is
like I said, pussy choice.
We've been talking to a lot of creatives a lot lately, like in these episodes, and the consistent theme here is they are so diligent, and not only so diligent, they're so driven as well with everything that they do. And like, at this point, if you're not getting that, the resounding message here is you really just got to be focused and do what you got to do to succeed, then you haven't really been listening.
I mean, except you have a trust fund somewhere.
I want to be a trust fund with you.
Nobody's coming to save you.
I want to be a trust fund with you.
Except your backup plan is to marry you to a mad bar.
Even if I make my own.
Nobody's coming out here to save. Nobody's coming out here to save you. So I mean,
gotta save yourself. No, I feel that.
You'll grind.
I think that honestly, like, that's such a good message to like share with people and things of that sort, because you know you're even a mentor to I remember when I was like, oh, like so much. Shini's one of those people that like your parents would be like, oh, Shini, uncle, how's he doing? Like,
okay.
go on, you see Shini, but that's what it looks like. You know what I mean? Obviously, I know you. I know like all parts of everything.
So I'm not a good role model.
No, you're Shini. You're a good role model. You are. Okay. You are. But some parts maybe we don't need to let the young know.
Ladies and gentlemen, just we'll move on.
Please, no. But you know what I mean, though. I feel as though being in this position and now going on ahead and starting with the blog, because I want to start off with the blog first, I feel like that is such a commendable thing because it takes a lot of time, one, to write blog posts, and not just blog posts that are think pieces, you've done research. I remember going through your blog post for sponsorship, right? On how people should like want to come to America. Yeah. And I was just like, bro, the attention to detail in this freaking post, for it to not even be getting, I feel like it should get more recognition than it does. But the attention to detail in this post right now is insane. How do you find the time? And something I always tell you is like, your time management just seems to be impeccable. Like, shouldn't be like, I call him, I just want to call him randomly. I can't just call my friend randomly, babes, I'm like in the car right now. I think I have this window to this window open. Like, can we do that time? All the time. How did you even adopt that mindset, that like skill? Because to be managed with time like that, it's definitely a skill.
I thought about this before, Shan. So it's just, I think it started like different ways. So when I was younger, it was just the when I'm 18 years old, I want to do this. When I'm 19 years old, I want to do this. I've always like done that. Oh, man, when I thought I'd be married at 24, I want to get married, all that kind of stuff. I want to get
We want to go to wedding, Osheni. We want to go to wedding.
I beg. This ring is prop. It's making a
Prop.
it's just like, oh, I want to do this at this age, I want to do that at that age kind of stuff. So that was, at first it was just like, oh, long time plan. And then it's like you're getting wiser, and then you're realizing that like, you can't just be saying, oh, I want to buy a Lamborghini at this age.
You actually have
How are you
to
going to buy a Lamborghini? How
Right.
much does it cost? Like, what work are you going to do? So like, you have to break stuff down. So just realizing that, okay, these things have to get broken now. So it's like, okay, cool. And then for me, like, honestly, I won't have a good day if I don't feel like I have control of everything around me. If I don't feel like my house is clean. If I don't feel like I know what I want to do. My emails, like, I'm a zero email type of person. Like, I've read my emails. And like, yeah, you people that be having a lot of bubbles on your phone, that bothers me.
You want to tell me your messages like that?
Yeah, like, so if I don't feel like I'm in control and I know everything that's moving on around me, like, I can't be like settled or at peace or stuff like that. So just because of that, it's just like, it just started like mad time planning and just stuff like that. And also like, let's not paint as if like, oh, but like in college, yeah, because I lived with my brother.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was commuting like 4 or 5 hours daily in college, which was kind of crazy. So like, to do everything that I was doing, at some point I was like president of NESB, and I was like tutoring calculus because like that's how they were paying my tuition because I was tutoring. So I was doing that. I was also working at the student center at my school because I needed to make bread.
Yeah.
And I was taking like 18, 19 credits some semesters. So like I was doing all that. And at the end of the day, I was still in college. So you have to catch vibes.
Yeah.
So to do all those things together, I will you don't have a choice, but you have to plan. And so it's like, I'd write, 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. I'll do this, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. I'll do this, 9 a.m. to this. Even when I turn up on Friday, I'll block out 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. I'm outside. So like I had to do that just to make sure everything kind of fits. And then, you know, it just kind of carried on. And now
it's like
it just morphed into like different things and like calendar and plans and goals and short-term plan, blah, blah, blah. It's just...
That's crazy. I feel like, again, I'm even getting some insight here because, you know, we've never actually really talked about how you became this organized and how you fell into this specific routine that you're now in, because I'm always like, bro, this guy's always doing something. If it's not that he's in another state or he's in another country, he's out here, he's doing this, he's doing that, like down to the businesses that you're working on and everything. It's like, I can barely hold it together. I can barely, like, you are actually what a lot of people like aspire to be, right? Like you know, when I say jack of all trades, right, it's like you have interest in so many things, but like you manage it all well. Some of us will have interest in so many things, we'll actually be good at all these things, but we don't know how to balance it. So at least one is going to end up faltering in the process, right? And it's like it's like, no, I plan it out accordingly, strategically, and it just all works out pretty well. And so
I mean, at the end of this, I mean, some suffer too, though. Like, I feel like it's like all of these things, like the older you get, the more like stuff that you realize. And like one thing I kind of knew, but like just internalized and just kind of clicked it, is sometimes you can do a lot of things and it's like cool and it's nice, but it's that stuff of, I don't know how it's said, but like don't mistake like, you know, movements for progress or movements for stuff like that. So it's just like, oh, just because it's happening, like, doesn't mean there's actually any impact being had. So trying to separate that. And also that thing where, yeah, you can do a lot of things and you can potentially succeed, but like, you might not be able to get A in as many things. Like your capacity might be, you can get A in 5 things versus like, A star, like all those things. So it's just
do you think that there's going to be like a gradual growth even with those 85%? Eventually it could reach that peak of 100?
I mean, I think it depends on the person. It's just like prioritizing it. Like, for example, now I like the things I do at priority level in my head. So that's kind of like how I can do things. Like, for example, maybe last year my career was like the biggest priority in my mind and I just wanted to grind. So like because of that, you know, maybe relationships and friendships and all that type of things kind of suffered
a little bit.
Maybe I didn't go out. So like just kind of prioritizing that, and then maybe me wanting to do blogs and give back was like second priority. So like the way, because of that, like yes, I'll spread my time and give it, but like this part is only getting 10% of the time. This part is only getting 50% of the time, like that. So now I just kind of work, and maybe it's because I'm a product manager, but now it's like everything is like, oh, okay, you want to try and build wealth, that's priority 1. You want to try and like build your relationships, that's priority 3. Your health is priority 0, like the most important things. I just kind of have it like that now.
Speaking of health,
I just,
you've been doing marathons a lot. I thought it was like just like a fun little thing at first, but now I'm like, no, he's a marathon guy. How did you even get into that?
I don't even know.
Like, I feel like that's low-key. It's not a random thing, but it is a random thing.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like, how did I start running? I don't know. I just...
Were you in Red House?
Yeah, I mean,
we're in the same house.
I was a sprinter, and initially I was in Red House, and I used to be a 100-meter. I thought I was going to be Usain Bolt at one part of my life, but, in the next life. Anyways, I don't know. Like, I don't know how I started running or when, but my first race was like 2 years ago. Like, my first half marathon was like 2 years ago, and I just did it, and it was like, damn, that's cool. And then... I don't know, so then I just started like running. I guess it was more of a, I mean, at this point, it's just like, I just tried to set a goal and like, okay, can we hit it? So like, I'm trying to do my first like full marathon because I've been doing a bunch of half marathons, 16 miles, 10 miles type of stuff. Now I'm trying to do my first marathon this October. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. And then maybe if I do that, we can do like a...
You're trying to get me out.
You can do a triathlon, ultra marathon. We'll see where I get from there. But yeah, you have to come on now. Yeah. I'm freeing you for now. Maybe October, I don't really like. But like March next year, at least your first 5K. But you have to be active,
I'm active. I go to the gym.
You might not see. And there's another thing in this life is like, you might not be able to do this at 70. Maybe you can.
It's true.
Can. So it's like all the things that you can
I'm doing right now, just do it.
Rinse it all. And
That's fair.
You go from there.
That's fair. So you talked about relationships and kind of finding like the balance in that. I feel like you wouldn't say you're a high maintenance friend, obviously. I don't think you're a high maintenance friend because me and you're still friends and we do not talk every day. Like I said.
Okay. I will speak.
Wait, first of all, this is not on me. Sorry, this is on you. Or at least let's share the responsibility equally. Yeah?
I refuse.
No, yeah, it's equal responsibility because sometimes I used to call you, I used to pick up my call.
Once or twice.
Okay, so when do you come and I don't pick up your call? I'll call you right away.
Move on to your question.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Anyways, so now when it comes to like balance now, because I feel like you said last year was very career oriented and you were just...
As an example, I hope it was. I hope my manager thinks so. But
don't they do end of year, mid-quarter, everything review for you people?
It was nice for now, but
Yes.
I hope they feel the same way.
Talk your shit, man. Talk your shit. So now this year, I feel like I've definitely seen you more this year.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen you more this year. So what would you say are the changes that you've made to kind of, I guess, continue to pour into your friendships?
I mean, I guess because this year, actually, I mean, maybe like 2 years ago or like 3 years ago, I'd definitely say like there was a huge emphasis on like, oh, relationship. I mean, kind of like generally like networking, all that type of stuff. Because I mean, I was grinding, I was trying to hustle jobs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you got it. And then like, oh, you're living life for yourself and then career. And it's like, now going back, it's like, oh, we're getting old. And either you like it or not. I was reading a book recently. I'm still reading it. It's called The Defining Decade.
The Defining Decade, okay.
And like, I mean, nothing's absolute, but she was talking about how your network kind of is probably going to be like at its largest, probably like in your 20s or something like that. Like, it's not like you can't still meet new friends when you're older.
I do get
relationships and stuff like that. But like, the peak of like when everything is possible and at your grasp. Yeah. At some point, like now people are married and this, and then maybe it's work friends or the wife of your friend, or like you go out, like kind of all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just like this really kind of is like the time to like maximize and all that, like meet as many people or like foster your relationships and like the people that are going to become your lifelong friends. Like just really hone into that relationship more.
I just feel like you have a very healthy social life, even at the fact that you're always busy, you're always doing things. I feel like you have a lot of friends.
I mean, I don't know. I hope so. How would they think I'm their friend? So anyways, I have like right now, I have like a goal every month where it's just like every weekend I have to try to catch up with like
somebody.
Catch up. I like, what's going on, what's happening. And then like also just like defining like the type of friendship that you have. Like not everybody is like you're gonna catch up every month type of stuff. Like I have friends now where, we just do quarterly check-in,
we can't do quarterly check-in because
we talk like
fake manager, but yeah.
We talk like it's on the calendar, we talk for like 1 hour every 3 months or 1 hour every 4 months. Some people it's like every 2 months and stuff like that. So it's just, just figuring out those relationships, not trying as much, just pouring into them as much as you possibly can. They're willing to take you to wherever you
I definitely feel like you have like a good network of people for sure. I think that even when I see you post and even now with your show, which honestly I do want to talk about now, how did you go from making blog posts to then deciding that you wanted to also have a podcast show? This podcast is called Thoughts and Transitions. And I think, because when you think of a guy doing podcasts, you're like, okay, what is this one saying? Is he a podcast guy? Do we need another podcast guy?
Black men
Do you get black men should not podcast?
Take on the microphone away from black men is what they say.
Do you get? But even, I think the title kind of gives you a prelude to what exactly is going on here. There's more depth to it, right? The conversations that are being had are beneficial to the youth. And honestly, at any age, right? People at any age and any stage could learn from it. And he didn't even tell me he was doing this, guys. I tell this guy all my moves. He didn't even tell me he was doing this. I'm telling him about the show, and he's like, "Oh yeah, BT Dubs. I actually have this project I've been like working on. I'm gonna send you a cute little snippet." Meaning he has recorded it. No, it's not even his thoughts. It's a done deal.
It probably just skipped my mind.
The same way the other things skipped your mind. You're
painting me out to be a bad friend. I'm the better friend in this relationship. It's calm. We move.
But yeah, so like, how did that become a thing? Because I know you have a co-host, correct?
Yeah. Shout out my boy Balaji. But I mean, I've always wanted to do a podcast. I can't lie. Like, it's been because I still do that whole every year when I come into the year. These are my goals for the year. It's been on my goals list since like 2021 or 2020. Like, even when I interned, I remember talking to my manager and it was just like, "Oh, you have a good personality. If you were streaming on Twitch or something, you'd have people like tune in." Like, idea. So, like, I've always had like that I was gonna do that, but I just never prioritized it. And like, for different reasons, like at first I was just like, where do I start from? How do I do it? Even I don't know if you Asmile.
Yeah.
I think I reached out to Asmile like 2 years ago because she has an amazing podcast too. And I was just like,
really?
I mean, she hasn't been. Yeah, she kind of took a break now.
Okay.
But like, it was very nice. And like, I was like, I want to do one, and she kind of even gave me a brain dump. I just never prioritized it for like a bunch of reasons. So coming to this year, and I said my goals, I didn't even put it on there because I was like, first, I hate like having, like, I'm a checklist person. So I hate having things on my list that I can't. It's like, why? So I was like, you know what? Might as well deprioritize this because I can't have it on my goals list for 2 years.
I don't check it off.
It didn't, so, but Balaji had come to me and like, you know, he went to, like, and if you listen to go listen to the first episode. He had come to me, like, I think it was February this year. And he went to Germany. And like, you know, just traveled Europe. And like, you know, all those things where you travel Europe without your game, new city, everything. And it's like he had an epiphany.
Yeah, that always happens when people go to Europe. You never hear the last of it.
You know, but like, he went for an extended period of time though. Like, he worked there, lived there for a little bit, and like met people. And it was just like, you know, he just had like a different perspective of life where he wanted to like share information and give stuff out. And then he had called me like, "Bro, you know, I know you do stuff like this, you know, this is the type of thing I'm thinking. You wanted to start a page and be putting out reels." And I was just like, you know what? Maybe one day I'll turn it into a podcast. And I was like, what kind of podcast? And I was just, at first I was like, what kind of podcast would it be? And then he told me what he was thinking. I was like, LMAO, I have had a plan for this for like 2 years. Like, let me actually even tell you the topics that I had and the people I wanted to get and all that. I'm just like, oh shoot. I mean, bro, 2 is better than 1. If you want to do it, let me know. And like, I've had people in the past that said that, and I'm just like, oh yeah, bro, we should. But it just never materialized. But like, he actually followed up, like, do you want to do this and stuff like that? I was like, bet, let's do it. So
he kind of gave you that little push that you needed.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely easier and like better doing it with him than alone. Because like, just 2 people like holding each other accountable and getting things done and like co-hosts and like sharing all the stuff. It's like definitely a big vibe. So yeah,
I love that. I think that when the first episode came out, I was just like, okay, obviously you're very charismatic.
Hey,
you're very charismatic, and so when you come in, it's just like very smooth, right? But even with him, you guys' energy bounces off of each other very well, and it's as though you guys have been friends for time.
We actually met in like 2021 at Rocks. We're catching Rocks. Yeah, like, it was a boat party, I think 2021. That was where we met. So we haven't actually known each other for that long.
But that's what it seems like, right? Like, and I think that also kind of speaks to, I don't know if it's just your character or both of your characters. You make people feel comfortable, welcome in certain spaces.
Let me put that on my resume. I love it.
Because even when your guests come on, right? Like, the banter, everything just flows well. The conversation's cohesive, all of that. And I'm like, look, you taking notes, okay? Like, how should we do it? Like, it's a very good, thing. And I think that kind of goes back to the giving back, right? giving back to community, giving back to the youth, and giving people resources that they do need to level up. You had, what's that guy's name?
Jerry?
No, Zayed.
Zayed.
Yeah, Zayed on the show. That, I think, is actually one of my favorite episodes of you guys.
Yeah, I mean, so we only released, 5 episodes now?
Yeah.
The 6th one is coming out on next Tuesday. But yeah, that episode was definitely fun.
Yeah.
And I think it's like, this episode also just resonated with a lot of people because, like, a lot of people are kind of in that phase where they're thinking about that or they're planning towards that.
Exactly.
So like,
and I think that's why I was like,
why not? And like,
because he's so young as well, right? Yeah. And so again, I think it's just
young and getting it.
Exactly, young and getting it. It's very inspiring to see young people, and that's what everybody that comes on my show, young people getting it, young people going about it. Like, I feel like our parents definitely at a young age, they were very much so on that do or die. Like, there's no option but to succeed. I feel like that's how our parents were, very like on it. And I feel like our generation, we've adapted that, but like we think even bigger.
I hope so. I hope
we think even bigger.
I hope that was a prayer my mom used to say that. Oh, you be better than father. You be better than father. So I hope I am.
So now that thoughts on transition is a thing, and you guys, how many episodes did you guys
So we have 5 now, 6 on Tuesday, and it's just weekly, and like, hopefully we'll get to 100 or 1,000. We'll see, but yeah.
But what do you see coming from it? Like, what's your goal with it?
So, the two reasons why we started it initially is, I think first, the one that you said, there's people that like kind of what I already do with like blogs and stuff like that. Like, there's people in Nigeria that want to come school in the US. There's people that want to get into tech. There's people that want to get into something, There's people that want to understand how you should, I guess, manage friendships, all that kind of stuff. There's like that part.
Yeah.
But for me, I think, and like a lot of people I know that, okay, they've done that. And there's so many people wondering, okay, what's next in life?
Right.
Like, okay, you start creating content, but like, what's the end goal?
Right.
You want to buy a house, okay, yes. But if you buy that one, it's like, okay, do I want to buy another one? Do I want to sell? Do I want to flip? It's just like, kind of be like, it's a transition phase where it's just like, what's next? You know, it's like maybe your goal was to make 6 figures. Now you make 6 figures and you're wondering, okay, how do I make it 7 figures? But there's not a lot of plan out there, to be honest.
Right.
And like, nobody gives you an exact blueprint. Everybody just, do real estate. How? Why? Like, there is like no like detailed plan of like what that looks like. Some people hate their jobs now, like the jobs that you strive so much to want to get. You just hate it now, and you're wondering, how do I pivot to the next one, or how do I climb the ladder? How do I make that work? Or do I leave? Do I do a startup? There's just so many things that like we're all navigating, and like you were talking about, like even friendships and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, how do you make that make sense?
Right.
So hopefully, I mean, the goal is like, we do enough of it that like it makes sense to me.
Right.
Like, I feel like, okay, I have more insight, I have knowledge, and I can do life better, and people feel like they can do life better as well too. And then whatever happens from there
just happens.
You
just here for the ride.
Icing on the cake. Yeah, but it's like, it's something I've always wanted to do, something I enjoy. So like, I'm not doing it with like any mad expectations or nothing. It's like,
you do because you love it.
If Spotify says this is your #1 podcast and I'll give you $1 million, I'll take it.
That's the goal, right?
Yeah,
that's a nice thing.
But otherwise too, if it's just like, if it's 100 people that listen to it consistently and you're just messing with it, like, I like it. And like, just based on reading blogs, one thing I realized is like, there's a lot of people that hear stuff and they never reach out to you. They're like, oh, I like this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, there's people that watch your video and they never told you before that.
Yeah.
There's people that put outfits together based on your video, but they never told you. Like, I've had people reach out to me on LinkedIn like, oh, I've been following you for over a year, and this article you wrote this time was really amazing. Like, I like this new thing that you do. I mean, I'm like, what? A year? I couldn't remember I wrote that. So there's people that appreciate stuff that you do.
Yeah.
And like, no fault of them, but just, I mean, they don't have to tell you nothing.
Jason was talking about this yesterday.
They just take it and then they go with it.
Yeah.
So like, me just knowing that, like, there's probably someone out there that just listened to that Zad episode or Jerry's episode.
Yeah.
Or like, and they're just like, idea, makes sense or stuff like that, and then they just go from there. So just because of what I said earlier as well too, where I know like that's not even like the value. Like, I've been at a move before. I was at the pregame, and someone beside me was sending my article to her group chat.
Are you serious?
Yes. I saw it. I was just like, what? She was sending it to my group chat. An article I wrote. I was like, oh, something like, you should read this, or this will help you, or something like that. And I'm just like,
that felt good though.
That's what I do it for.
Yeah.
So it's like,
good.
It's like, that's what I do it for. Or like, someone like, sometimes I'll be at the party and someone daps me up like, bro, I read your article about this and it was so good. It helped me. And I was just like, oh.
Aww.
I appreciate that. So it's like that is like, that person is like somewhere, somehow. And like when I think about it, the reason I started writing in the first place, the reason I started doing a podcast, like I try to like remind myself, the goal is if one person sees it and it helps them, it's a win. If 2 people see it, we're 2x in the goal. If 10 people see it, we're 10x in the goal. Now, if 100 people see it, we've exceeded expectations. So, like, if I already have 5, 10 people, we're like way above. So I don't like put that whole that like when I write a post and when I write a post and 20,000 people see it, of course, like there's dopamine, like everywhere, and it's just like I don't know, but like that's not the goal, that's not the thing, and I just try to like remind myself and like make sure that's constant in my head all the time, and then we'll just go from there.
That's a good mindset to have, because I feel like, I think now, at least for me, in this space that I'm in, I don't use Instagram that often anymore. I try. It's just, we're battling it. We're working towards it.
She's fake. She should be on the gram all the time. She's so fake.
Just, anxiety, all that. But...
Yeah. Okay. Continue.
I feel like that also kind of played a part, because it's like, okay, I don't like to post everything that I see, but like for friends, it's like, okay, if you don't post it now, you're a bad friend, right? And it's not everything that I say I'm gonna repost, but yeah, if you don't post, even if you don't post somebody's for their birthday, you didn't post it for my birthday. You're a bad friend.
And for it, see, another thing is I do that to not put expectation on people. Also, so you don't put that same insane expectation on me. Like, this is wild. Like, it's just like post your birthday. I mean, the dopamine is nice for you and all that, but like, just everything, just whatever. I don't know what meme it is, but something maybe nice for your body. But it's like, how does that really move the needle? Versus if I call you on FaceTime, show you some actual love, pray for you, call you, send you, I take $100, go and grab lunch or dinner tonight, like real love, like. Yeah, me posting to 1,000 people that are following me, that 900 of them you don't know, and you're happy. Why? Why are you happy?
You're such a guy.
Like, after I post you, 3 babes follow you. Hey, you're blue. Like, that's and that's not it. So like imagine me getting mad at a guy didn't post me on my birthday. I think that's what I post on Instagram on like exactly. It's not necessary, like call me, like, oh yeah, that's nice, like text me, oh you're actually thinking about me, not just quick. So,
no, I feel that. Well, I feel like we've gotten a lot of insightful information. I also know we're on a bit of a time crunch today. I have to get time small, but I don't want to extend too much because we have other things to do.
Cool.
We have other things to do. Before we wrap it up, can you please give the people viewing, I want to say 5 for you. 3 is usually the magic number. We're going to do 5 for you. 5 things that you would tell 17-year-old Shini.
5?
Yes.
Whoa. That's kind of difficult. 5 things.
Difficult. Then you just be.
I mean, just think of 5 things. So make sure it's like the proper 5 things.
Yeah.
I mean, this one I'm kind of debating, but it's like, don't rush it too much. Like, eventually you click. Because like I was saying, I remember when I was trying to go to school, and I was like, I definitely have to get it in January. Oh my God, I have to go. And like, I just do it. Just fits everywhere. If I had done 6 months, life might still have been the same. So like I didn't need to rush absolutely to put that. So it's just like, just create a plan and run your own race. Like it'll be fine. Like I didn't have to put like, oh my God, all my friends are already in 2nd year. By the time I go, like it doesn't matter, bro. Like at that point, I was still so young enough that like even if I started 2 years after, like life would have still been good. So I think just run your race. Create your plan and run your race. That's one. 2 would just be live life, like enjoy, because it's like some things is very easy to do at certain. Like I remember when I was in like when I was in like 1st year, 2nd year in college, like I could just go any club and just buy one drink. I didn't want money for drink, just go there and turn up, whatever it is. Now you want to go out every time. It's like, let's go and buy section. Let's go and buy section. It's just like, it's like at every phase. And then very soon now it's like, oh, you don't want to do clubs anymore or whatever. So it's like at every point in life, just try to like enjoy that as much as possible. Whatever you can do. Like when you're in college, study. Try to get all your A's. Try to get your internship. But maybe live life. Like there's a window.
Find the balance.
There's a window when you can't live that life
Yeah.
anymore like that. So I definitely would say like
He's not saying go and do Faji and not
like study, but like because like it's like it's balance. You figure it out. So I think that probably would be the second thing. The third one, what would I tell myself? Third thing. It's just don't let up, man. Just keep grinding the way you're grinding. Like,
put on the gas pedal.
Yeah, just steady. Like I definitely would say don't let up. So just grind that one. 5. Damn, 5 is a hard number. Okay, number 4.
4. I know, right? I said 5, and I just feel like you have so much insight.
Yeah, but I mean,
people. Like even down to like.
But I think the thing though is like 17 years. When I was 17, the thing that I thought were important and like versus now, like I'm just like
even down to how you dealt with stress, right? Or difficult situations when you were down. Like how did you pull yourself out of it, or how would you tell yourself to pull yourself out of those times where you're low? Because we all have them.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's like it's okay to not do anything. I remember when I used to feel guilty that like on a Saturday I wasn't grinding or I wasn't working. It's not everyday work. Like sometimes it's absolutely okay to just take the weekend and do absolutely nothing. Watch Game of Thrones from season 1 to 8 again. It's vibes and just eat. So like I think that part is very okay. Even like when you're in school, because everybody and we've been talking about this now. And we say grind, hustle, and like that just gets toxic sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes like. Just it's okay to do nothing, just chill.
Live life and let's be guided.
Yeah, right. And then the last one, I definitely would say, it's kind of what we're talking about recently. Is like, if you remember the why of why you're doing everything, like it helps you stay grounded. It's like you start creating content. Maybe your goal initially was to help 5 people. If you lose it and start, you gain 10,000 followers, now you only get 100,000 followers, and you're having sleepless nights, and you're having anxiety, panic because you're not getting that. You've kind of missed the plot.
Right.
So it's like just remembering why you started doing something. It's like, okay, you're grinding, you're hustling. Maybe your goal was you wanted to make $2 million and then, you can relax and have a peaceful life. But you've made $2 million and you're just grinding, you've forgotten why, and now you're not having a peaceful life. Like, what's the point of having all that money if you can't have peace and enjoyment? So it's just like, at every point, remember the why of what you're doing. And like, that just helps you, calm and make sure that
Zen.
That'd be great.
Zen, I love that. And
count 5.
That's a good 5. Like I hope you guys took that, you put it in your pockets when you use it.
Any one of it, just take it. And if there's none, that's fine too.
I know I said I was going to wrap up this episode here, but I have one more question to ask you.
I feel like you've been keeping that on your back pocket.
So you have a lot of female friends.
Hey!
You do. Yeah.
Hey!
You do.
Okay, I'm listening.
You do. And I don't see it as a bad thing.
Okay.
But, no, but to be fair, you do. No, but you do.
Debatable.
No, but you do.
Debatable.
Sometimes it's okay to bakamuku and accept reality.
Debatable. But continue.
Anyways, you have a lot of female friends, right? So, and there's a debate out there. Can guys and girls be friends? I've had that debate. I think I've been on both sides of it and thinking, okay, can we, you know what I mean? What are your thoughts?
Are we friends?
Of course we're friends.
That's the answer.
No, that's not the answer. That's not, you want to cop out.
But, I mean, can guys and girls be friends? Of course. Like, absolutely. Why not? And, like, there's perspective that, like, it's so funny. Just, like, being in tech, for example, they talk about, like, inclusivity, blah, 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 and stuff.
Yeah.
If me and 4 people try to build a company, and all guys, versus me and, like, 2 guys and 2 women try to build a company, I think we'd build a totally different company. Because, like, there's things that we're thinking that, like, we actually have absolutely no insights to. Like, there's, like, I can't remember what I was talking to this one girl about, and she said something, and I was like, wait, what? You have to deal with that? I didn't even think about it. Or one time she was talking about every time she's in the meeting with the team, almost all the time she's the only woman in there, and like sometimes she has to battle this. And I'm just like, wait, what? You have? I've never I've never thought about like, okay, me being a black guy or whatever, but like it's not. Most times there's a lot of guys in the room, so it's just like, you don't have to think about that. So there's a lot of like perspective I think like women have and that men have as well too. And like you never know except like you kind of interact. So like, of course, I mean, men and women can absolutely be friends. Is essential for community. It's essential for the world.
So Mwani stop line.
Where's the stop line?
Because like in this age where everybody's kind of like single and looking, single and wanting to dating for marriage. People are looking for husband. Where are the boundaries that you put into place for those friendships so that things don't escalate? Because even today, people are desperate.
If you want peace in your life, if you're a babe, just ask your man, how do you feel about this? how would it make you?
What do you mean if you're a babe? What if you're a
No, I'm not saying the other one. And if you're a guy, just ask your babe, how do you feel about this?
Okay.
Does this make you uncomfortable? Yes. How can we make you comfortable? You know what they always say? Happy wife, happy life. Happy babe, happy life.
I think that's a good way to think about it. I don't hear a lot of men say that these days.
Okay.
There's always called a problem.
Problem.
Sassy man. I'm talking to you, sassy man. Relax. Happy wife, happy life. Happy babe, happy life. Okay? Here to hear first with the one and only Don the Don Fawaz. This has been such a good episode. Thank you so much for coming. Before we wrap up,
I'll send Bill to you.
are you mad? We just to be impressed. Stand up, Jeremy, and show us your outfits.
Looking sweet, looking sexy. You know?
You gotta give them an OOTD.
Oh, so
Where's everything? Yeah.
Slides, Birkenstock, pants, Banana Republic. This is Uniqlo. T-shirts, Swarovski. My Baba. Shout out to Baba. I think we're done. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one. It's a very, very confident. It's giving what's supposed to give.
It's given, you know.
I know you flip your hair,
it's given.
please.
It wasn't on purpose, but you liked it.
No, you guys, this has been such a great episode. I hope you were able to take away a lot of beneficial insight, things that are going to help you build and grind and get to your next level, next self. I've been so happy to have you here on my show.
Of course.
And I want you guys to make sure you follow Thoughts and Transitions, follow his personal if it's up to you, I don't know. No. But follow, support, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Comment down below who you want to see moving forward. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment anything else down below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Comment we want to see Drake, Michael Jordan.
Anything is possible. Anything is possible in this life. Bye, guys. See you next time.